Um, when it comes to when it comes to catering opportunities, at least in the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area, and I may say in some larger metropolitan areas, in some of the larger metropolitan areas like Charlotte, you've got three primary competitors of catering apps. In Charlotte, there's Zifty, DeliverThat, and Dlivrd, if memory serves me correct. But Zifty is like the one that I see a lot of activity. They all are competing for opportunities that are dispersed to them by Easy Cater. Easy Cater does something similar to another aggregator, OneRail. And I've talked about OneRail in the past. So what happens is that these, and I've also explained the kind of the machinations of last mile gig delivery apps, and how OneRail has kind of jacked people around, or kind of have fucked people around too. They don't want to hear this, but this is true. They have fucked people around. Okay, they have imposed their will to where gig apps that deal with them with certain last mile gig delivery opportunities, they have cut their rates so much that it's almost shameful to even talk about some of the stuff that shows up on your phone. So these apps compete for these opportunities. So they're telling them that, hey, we can deliver these opportunities. We can deliver these opportunities. We've got the people to deliver these opportunities, and we can show you the metrics in which they accept them in large numbers, and they complete them at a high percentage in a high percentage of timeliness, and you can depend on us to handle even more opportunities and even your bigger opportunities. That's what they're doing, okay? Well, here's an example during the week in which if you read the board, that's an old term that I often heard when I used to play a lot of dominoes. You tell your partner to read the board, study the board, or as somebody who's kind of pulling you off to the side and trying to help you to learn how to play the game with a bunch of cutthroats. You got to know how to read. You got to read those bones. You got to understand your count. Okay. Last week Tuesday, there was an order that came across my phone for $24. The order size was $258. So let's say in the $250 range. I ignored it because based on what I have been known to say, I consider, by and large, catering opportunities whose payout to the driver is at least 10% of the order size. Okay, so it came in, it showed up on my phone. I declined it and didn't think anything of it. But then the next morning, it showed up twice. And what I happened to notice was a $5.05 incentive bonus. That's what they categorized it as, $5.05 incentive bonus. In other words, they're really trying to get this thing. They're really trying to get this thing accepted so that they can keep it. Well, I passed on it twice, and then next thing I know, about probably an hour or so later that morning, maybe an hour and a half later, it shows up on DeliverThat. It shows up on DeliverThat, and now I noticed what DeliverThat offered, and basically what it amounted to. I knew that I was going to pay at least $35. It ended up, I accepted it on that premise, knowing that it was paying about $35, and so that's more than, that's definitely more than 10%. That is more like, that's about 13-14% of the order size. However, the final payout on this was $40. So I came out ahead on this. And so the payoff pitch, the lesson in this is study the board. Some of these catering opportunities will bounce to another app. Okay? They will bounce to another app. These apps ain't going to want you to talk about that. I'm pretty sure. All right? And then you have content creators who have performed acts of public fellatio, trying to get in good with them so that they may see opportunities farmed to them. I'm not in nobody's pocket, okay? I have no dialogue with any of these apps, okay? And I'll leave it at that. But what I can tell you is that there is the possibility from time to time in your market, you will see certain catering opportunities bounce from one app to another. And it's up to you to recognize that.